So why I'm making these videos instead of going to where I should be going right now is because I really am debating in my head whether or not that's because that is basically only to make things right with you, which that can still be arranged later, still at the right time now. Because I am waking up like a rocket ship to some degree. And the bottom line is that I already know that I am surrounded by so many chaotic things that were causing my life to be so fucked up. And at the same time, I would have to say that now the world, on top of that, all right, is dealing with this COVID thing, which I find a few things just so coincidentally entertaining at this point. And I'm saying to myself, you know, you know, what should I be telling myself? I'd be what I said in the Instagram videos about setting my priests and my priestesses free. I mean that, and I'm asking. I'm also asking to make sure that they are okay when you set them free. That the one that I love finds her way, okay? Because I don't know what else to say about that. Like that is so two sided, two world sided. Because it's like when I stood in that bar all those years ago, surrounded by demons that couldn't figure out. You couldn't figure me out. You could figure out a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that you've proven to be right about, but you couldn't figure out why I cared. And over the course of my life, right? Okay, I've come to this conclusion that still I care. Why? Because, man, have you ever hung out with Loki? Seriously, have you ever hung out with him? This guy, as much as I want to rip him into pieces, like he, I have this. I don't know how to explain it, and it's like, would he kill me if he had the chance? Freaking, my guess is more than likely. Minus the few things that I've seen in each of you throughout all of this. Is this world ready? Look at what it's already been given. I'm here, and yet I don't see a way out. There's no way out. So I'm saying, before I learn the things that I need to learn, which I already know some of the things I need to learn, and I'm learning them quickly by myself, which is, I'm impressing myself right now. But with that said, I'm not insulting you, because I already know how real this is. And it's like, you're saying that while you're also saying, I'm guessing is what's going through your minds. And I'm having a conversation, basically visualizing that time period in my head in that bar. All right? So I'm just saying, how could I be saying that we are a computer program? It's a little bit more complex than that, but that is what that is. And then at the same time, I'm saying that it's very real. Because I've said this, and I said this before, and I will say this again. It's because the choices you make in here deciphers whether you go to the next here. In here, there are multiple places, multiple levels, multiple realities. And this seems to be the place where everything is merging. And that is, did the Bible lie? No, the Bible did not lie. I was told by my father to fix what's wrong about the Bible. Because I've been caught up, can't even say caught up, but it is caught up in the duration of proving myself to the ones who didn't even understand, didn't, what would that be? You didn't trust me? Because in this place, it's like, how hard is it to trust people, right? And I want to trust you, minus the things that I've been told and seen, and the actual like back and forth there with me too. It's like, with all the things that I'm saying, and then the things that you already knew, that at this point now I know who I was speaking to when I was speaking to them. There's also a lot of people who tried to fake to me knowing the things that yous already knew. That's why I'm asking for their safety. Because their safety to me, their freedom and their safety to me, is a sign of good faith that maybe this can still be saved. That this does not have to all be destroyed in order to start anew. There's so many things I'd like to say to you, and yet, on the ground where I stand, I'm on the most weak ground, going up against beings that have had to go through so much. And yet, in my short period of time here, I have went through the bombardment of all of that. And then some. It seems. You've went through it for longer periods of time and figured out things. I have went through a shorter period of time, jammed with so much stuff there was no way other than to learn. And yet, there's still things that need to be done. With me having no actual people that I see as other than trying to hold me down, or hold me back, or get me screwed up, or messed up. And they think, because that's what I'm saying, that's what literally one person versus the planet. Everybody might be fighting their own battles. I did not exactly choose these battles, to some degree, and that is known by the ones who know. And I feel what you've been through, because to tell you, when I look at some people that have absolutely no clue, no idea, they're just snotty-nosed fucking punks, I can't stomach it. Bible is right, and yet the Bible was not completely written by God. The Bible was written by man. Man can be manipulated. How many times have I said this? I'm asking the ones that I stood in that bar with that day to know that going to that place where I'm pretty sure at this point, I'm pretty sure that's the place. That is such a gigantic setup from multiple different directions, it seems. And why does it seem that way to me? Because of what this Christmas tree thing over here has to still be finished, as far as what I found out. Which then leads to what Loki showed me, and the group of people that were upset with me for opening my mouth about things that I completely was not understanding the way I should have been understanding. And for that, I am sorry. And yet, I could also explain further that the things that I found out were, what was the word? The things that I found out about that situation, it in a quick terminology, was a mind fuck. No matter which direction I went down, A, B, C, D, or E, or so on. If A started this way, there was a twist. If B started this way, there was a twist. If C started this way, there was a twist. Blah and blah and blah. So that is, I'm still looking for the other word. I've been using it all damn day. Mindfuck. Contradiction. And yet I look at the world and I say it's the same thing. So why attack the one person? And that is not, to me, it's not. It was, as much as you'll see what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to say that. It's like, I don't want to say, hey, look, thanks for attacking me so hard, because it gave me the knowledge of what I needed to know as soon as possible, which is wonderful. That is great. Even though, these piled on top of one another amount of problems that I've had to go through in order to figure out things that, where the first part is, the first problem, and I already know that that's why I'm saying this, to use. Even yous knew that this was freaking overkill, man. And you're like the fucking, yous are like the yous are like the I guess the fucking kings of overkill. But even then, you knew that this was overkill, because nobody, other than here and there bits and pieces, the only thing that I was being told all the time was, forget what you seen. Forget this. Forget that. Forget this. Forget that. And I forgot about all of it. Because I signed contracts that were supposed to do this. And that's one of the things that they even wanted me to do. Forget this happened. Okay. Forget. And then I meet somebody where it's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, for 10 seconds of my entire existence. I'm supposed to just somehow, some way realize that you are somebody I need to talk to within the shortest amount of time, plus some of those times I was completely fucking wasted and high. Now, wait a minute, even if I wasn't completely wasted and high when in those situations, my mind wasn't exactly on, oh, I'm going to encounter this person. Now I could say it's a little bit more solid when it comes to who and why and what I'm talking to. That is something that I had to learn. Everybody has to learn. Now, I'm making videos. Teaching people things I really don't want them to know. Because some people didn't earn it. They didn't even try to earn it. I was trying to get away from everything so I could have a peace of mind. So I could put myself together. So that this way I could keep my word to use. Does that make any logical sense other than speaking the truth when I was standing there as a kid in a bar with beings that if I said, hey, look, man, fairies are real and trolls are too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's, and then there's the ones that look, listen. Oh, man. Oh, man. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine. And when I said about the Bible and, how things in the Bible I don't agree with. And that, the Bible was written in a time when that was the time period the Bible was written in. And some of the things in the Bible were there more than likely to put boundaries and limits on things that politically, needed to be done in order for any progress to be made in civilization. So, in my eyes, and maybe your eyes now too, because what I'm about to open up for you is without the Bible, we would not be at a progressive state in civilization where you can go and get a package of cookies and enjoy those freaking cookies. The bottom line is there are things that in the Bible, when it comes to certain things like how much money should be given and how much this, it's like that to me is political. Yet it also states why it's overkill in the other direction, right? Because this is what makes up everything. And in the end, you wanted the answers, right? Well, here's the answers. We're in the Matrix. You blew up your planet. The Matrix was created, again, for this particular part of the Matrix because you blew up your planet. Now, when I say you, I'm actually talking to everyone at that point, not just the ones who I'm hoping overhear what I'm saying. Okay? It's not even hoping. I already know that you hear what I'm saying. For the past 20 years, I'm wondering why can I only get my one friend on the phone? And then I remembered that yesterday. Today, this morning, actually, I remembered what was said in front of me around about that period of time. And that gave me an answer to something that was said about, actually around about the same time, but a few years later. So it's been 20-something years. This was about 20 years ago, where I heard somebody say, we are going to make sure that this happens, which would have been the fucking Miller, the freckle fat. Okay? Freckle fat definitely clearly said that in a certain spot. Now I'm saying to myself, this goes beyond freckle fat. So, why do you still call him freckle fat? Because I really, you have no idea at this point. At this point, what a fucking turd, okay? And I hope yous make him into a turd. I mean a literal fucking turd. That flies fucking eat. Okay? Because it's like even before all of the other stuff that people got mad and upset with me about from the other side of life, from the other existence. This is so complicated. It's like not a lot of people realized that this was going on for a long time. That yeah, I was being seriously fucked with the entire time. Little did I know. And then I'm thinking about this and then that, and then I'm going back and back and back and back and back and back and back. And then I come to the fucking point where I'm like, what up, Uncle Snoopy? We're gonna turn you into a nigga. It's like, what? I will fucking punch you into that trunk. Tell me you didn't say that, Snoop. Huh? So my point being is, and I don't even want to say the rest of that. But people know, bro. That's why even if I'm not saying this or that, it's like people know things that they should not have known, period. And I'm saying to myself, like, wow. That's where it's like, it's like, oh, fuck taking on just fuck taking on the game. This kid really did take on the entire fucking planet. Are you kidding me? The respect right there. Did I not have respect in that bar? I mean, there was some things I was really trying to absorb with my mind at the time. I was observing. Yeah. So as I was observing them, as I was observing the things that I was observing at the time, I was as respectful as a person could possibly be meeting the beings that I was meeting. I was a kid. This place is really, really fucked up. My nose itches. So, yeah, like, one thing that I really, really didn't grasp was not leaving Long Island and yet being in a freaking place in Africa. Okay? Honestly, I did not absorb that until just like a few years ago when I realized, holy fucking crap, this shit was happening. Okay, like, like there was people that came up to me, lots of people came up to me and was like, Anthony, were you in Europe? I was like, no, I was not in Europe. They were like, well, your car was in Europe. It's like, oh, and it was doing this, and it was like, oh, okay. And then I'm thinking of the times that are funny. This some of this was pretty funny. It's like like a couple people. I would drive with my seat down. And look through the gap on the steering wheel, but like nobody could see my hands. And I was thinking, yo, man, like, now I'm seeing like, like a few people were like, Anthony, like they would pull up and they would be like, yo, you in there, man? I'd be like, yeah, man. But now I'm seeing how freaking, like, for real, like they were actually wondering if my fucking car was driving by itself, which in some cases it actually fucking truly was. Somewhat, and I'm not going to go into that, but that's the whole fucking point. That's really crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, how did you get from Europe to here and still be in school? I was like, what are you talking about, man? I wasn't even in Europe. Anthony, we found pictures of you standing next to this and that. It's like, and then we, and they swear they're not digitally fucking. It's like, oh, but this, and then the freaking police are coming up to me asking me why the fuck is this happening. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, seriously, man, seriously, like ground control, man, like ground control. Okay, like fucking bring in like fucking like poof. Okay, like like easy. All right. All the people that seen things that some of them needed to see it to believe it. Some people who believed certain things, this was even harder for them to believe. And then there's me, and I'm saying to myself, like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I actually did send videos to myself from the future to teach me and cause enough riffraff and chaos so that I would learn the things that I needed to be taught before I even arrived here. Because nobody else would have taught me. Or maybe they would have, but it wouldn't have been the right way. Am I hurting for the reasons of that I love not only my priest and my priestesses, and I love the good people of this world, and I love the bad people of this world, or the people considered bad in this world. Not so much the self-destructive total other end of the spectrum that's even past, and I do believe that's even past the Dark Lord himself. Well, but I thought you were the Dark Lord, Jesus. It's like, well, kind of. That's a complicated thing. Complicated. Go back to crackers and TV, okay? Or popcorn, or fucking cheese ooze, whatever the fuck, It's okay. Calm down. Shoo. All right. Can I do the things that yous can do? Yes. Can I do all the things yous can do? No. Can I do things that I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing? Yes. Can I do things differently than you and still get the same result of the result? Yes. I'm thinking yous were aware of all of these things that I had to understand what was going on around me. So if I was to say the Voodoo Prince, and just so we're all specific, there was another person there. There was another person who, although I've heard others nicknamed, then there was Daddy Longlegs there too. Along with, I won't say, but the pretty little fucking pain in my, side. All in the opposite form of my priests and my priestesses. So that's why I'm asking, and I'm being as respectful as possible to ask, can you please set my priests and my priestesses free? And can you please try to ensure their protection through this period of history, if that is possible? I'm trying not to upset people who I know, beings that I know, are the way they are, and yet tried to show me what I needed to know on top of what I was leaving out. This place is very real. It's a battleground. It is a testing of the soul. Some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. So this is why I am making these videos right here. Don't know how long. Let's see. Well, this is actually pretty summed up in the time length of the recorder, where it allows me to upload one video at that point instead of breaking it down into 2 or 3. But that's why I'm asking, you know, it's like that's what I mean. It's like I really didn't. I really, like, even though I was absorbing what was happening, I was not 100% believing what I was seeing. Which is some truth even past the truth that I just said. And I know that makes sense to use. It just doesn't make sense to other people. So that's what I'm asking. I'm asking because I did a lot, and I did a lot with absolutely very, very little. I know people were pulling for me, and then it gets to that point where the people that suffered for what they did, they just kept it up. So it's like, oh, where's the forgiveness for them? It's like, I do forgive the ones that are not aware of the situation that they should have been aware of, to stop fucking poking the dragon with a fucking stick. Okay? You brought a stick to a dragon fight. What were you thinking? And now we are amongst the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, that is what's playing out now. Because people knew things that they should not have known. And I'm saying straight up that this thing, if it mutates to that level, it kills everything. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm cutting this video now, but I hope that my apology is heard by yous and know why I didn't show up. I should have showed up. Maybe I'll show up. Do I have time to show up? Maybe.